Happy holidays, precious viewers, and welcome to Animal World, our co-inhabitants, where we will celebrate the birth of the great enlightened Master Jesus, with true stories of animal angels sent by God to teach us about love. These tales truly demonstrate the nobility and devotion of our animal companions. The first story begins over 100 years ago. One morning in 1883, when Jim Stacy, the US postmaster of Calico, California, opened his front door, he discovered a hungry, footsore black and white shepherd dog lying on his porch. Something about the helpless animal touched Mr. Stacy's heart, so he adopted him at once and named him Dorsey. Jim Stacy had an interest in a nearby mine, and one day he needed to get an urgent message to his partner there, but was unable to make the rugged, nearly 2-kilometer trek himself. So he decided to tie a note to Dorsey's back and asked the dog to deliver it to the mine. Dorsey perked up his ears, listening carefully to his caregiver's request. Then, without hesitation, he turned and set off in the direction of the mine. Dorsey soon returned, carrying a reply from Mr. Stacy's partner. Soon Dorsey began taking messages back and forth to the mine on a regular basis. Then, one day, Jim Stacy had an idea. Why not have Dorsey help him with his job as a mail carrier? So, he had a special jacket made for Dorsey with pouches to hold letters. The shepherd appeared to love his new duties. As soon as Mr. Stacy fastened the jacket on him, Dorsey turned his mind unwaveringly to his work. 3 days a week, the bright, hard-working canine faithfully carried mail from Calico to the town of Bismarck, about 5 kilometers away, becoming the first 4-legged mail carrier to work for the US Postal Service. Dorsey never missed a day of work for the next 3 years, including the delivery of the Christmas mail. Many people admired Dorsey, and someone once offered his caregiver $500 for him, a huge sum of money at the time, but Mr. Stacy refused. Over the years, Dorsey's intelligence, benevolence, and dedication have continued to warm people's hearts. In 1972, the renowned American band Kenny Rogers and the First Edition released a ballad about him called Dorsey the Mail-Carrying Dog. The Squire family of Colorado, USA is looking forward to a particularly Merry Christmas this year. 5 years ago, their beloved calico cat companion Willow became lost when a door to their home was inadvertently left open. Although the Squires posted signs all around the neighborhood and even advertised the missing cat on the internet, no one seemed to have seen her. 5 years passed, and then one day the Squire family received a phone call from Animal Care and Control in New York City, almost 3,000 kilometers away. The agency had found Willow and had been able to locate the Squires from the cat's microchip, which had been inserted when she was a kitten. So Willow will be home for Christmas, and her stocking, which the Squires could never bring themselves to throw away, will be joyfully hung up once more alongside those of the other family members. And then there was Ben, a stray black and white or tuxedo cat who has made a big difference in the lives of Julia Romp and her son George of Isleworth, West London, England. George was born with autism and by age 10 became extremely withdrawn. He seldom spoke and showed no signs of affection. But then along came Ben, a dirty, sick and injured stray. Seeing his condition, Julia Romp did not want to adopt him. But for some reason, George immediately bonded with the cat. And within a few weeks of Ben's arrival, changed remarkably. He began to show his first signs of love, stroking Ben and burying his face in the cat's fur. George also became calmer at school and got along better with the other children. He began to learn to read and write, and one day, for the first time in his life, George expressed affection by telling the cat that he loved him. Then, as suddenly as he had arrived, Ben disappeared, and George became distraught and withdrawn, and no longer smiled. Desperate to help her son, Miss Romp posted thousands of flyers in her area in hopes of finding Ben. Days passed, then weeks, and soon the Christmas season was at hand. Julia Romp said George worried about Ben. He'd say, "It's cold tonight. Ben will be cold." And then, 4 days before Christmas, Miss Romp received a call from Brighton, England. Someone had found Ben. When George and his beloved cat companion were reunited, the boys' smiles and laughter returned, and for the Romp family, Christmas was indeed joyous. Next we'll hear about Abby, a black and white dog tenderly cared for by Greg and Joy Scrivener, and their 3 children in San Antonio, Texas, USA. When Abby passed away at the age of 14, the family was filled with sorrow. 4-year-old Meredith was so disconsolate that she asked her mother to help her write the following letter to God.
Dear God, would you please take special care of our dog Abby? She died yesterday and is in heaven. We miss her very much. We are happy that you let her have her as our dog. I hope that you will play with her. She liked to play with balls and swim before she got sick. I'm sending some pictures of her so that when you see her in heaven, you will know she's our special dog. But I really do miss her. Love, Meredith Clare.
Miss Scrivener and Meredith placed the letter and 2 photos of Abby in an envelope and addressed it to God in Heaven. Meredith put several stamps on the envelope, explaining that it was a long way to heaven. Several days later, a package wrapped in gold paper arrived on their front door porch, addressed simply to Meredith. Inside was the book When a Pet Dies by Fred Rogers, a famous American children's television host, along with this handwritten note.
Dear Mare, I know that you will be happy to know that Abby arrived safely and soundly in heaven. Having the pictures you sent to me was such a big help. I recognized Abby right away. You know, Meredith, she isn't sick anymore. Her spirit is here with me, just like she stays in your heart, young and running and playing. Abby loved being your dog, you know. I hope the little book helps. Thank you for the beautiful letter. Thank your mother for sending it. What a wonderful mother you have. I picked her especially for you. I send my blessings every day and remember that I love you very much. By the way, I am in heaven and wherever there is love. Love, God, and the special angel who wrote this after God told her the words.
The Scriveners were grateful, and little Meredith's heart was soothed by this tender act of compassion from some kind soul at the U.S. Postal Service. Indeed, even after her passing, Abby continued to bring love into the family's lives. During an April 2011 video conference in Los Angeles, California, USA, Supreme Master Ching Hai shared a beautiful story she had read about the power of love. A woman found 4 abandoned kittens and took them home. As she already had a dog and 3 cat companions, she promised her husband that she would take care of the babies. But as soon as they were old enough, she would find all of them good homes.
There was one kitten, the smallest one, the ugliest one, and the most slow and dull, and it doesn't seem to be interested in life or anything at all. And he always at the bottom when they come to drinking milk or feeding or something. He's always laying at the bottom and everybody else on top of him. And now this lady, she wanted to make experiment in love. So she was wondering whether love would change him. So she especially picked him up and give him a name, and every day talk to him and carry him around and even wash dishes and all that with him. And then he picked up, you know. Then he grew fast and he's more lively and answered to his name, and now he doesn't stay at the bottom anymore, but whenever calls him or whenever she came near, he climbed on top of everybody else, of other 4 kittens. He climbed on top of them so that to climb onto her. And he became so loving and so intelligent, and he understood every word that she said. So now, every other kitten's already been adopted one after another. This one left. And every day she carries, she talks to him, and she feeds him loving and attention and teach him a lot of things, talking to him. And he understood absolutely everything. Then there come the day her husband came home, announced that somebody want to adopt him. Oh, that was heartbroken for her. But, you know, she already promised him that she will give away all these kittens. So she had to keep her promise, even though heartbroken. And then she wrote a note, you know, to the adopter person. Like, this kitten is hand-raised with a lot of love and attention. And he understood everything. And he's very gentle, very kind, very intelligent, and he can go on the car. He is absolutely very, very obedient and good. Make sure you give him the great love, because that is what he will give you. And she was crying inside, of course. But then the husband, reading that note, knowing how much the kitten meant to her, even then she's still big enough to give him away. So he agreed to let the kitten stay with her. You know, that was Christmas, and he put a red ribbon on the kitten and handed it back to her. That was a very, very interesting story, don't you think?
Yes.
Thank you.
And so it is that animals bring a very special gift to our world, the gift of love. Their presence here enriches our lives and makes our planet a more inviting, beautiful place to live. Thank you for viewing today's edition of Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants. May you be blessed with happy holidays, enriched by the love of our animal friends.
For more details, please see www.suprememastertv.com/AW.